Alright, Carlos, thanks for answering my questions. Now I'm going to call the police back in here and I'm going to get this cleared up for you. What? That's it? That's it? Okay. Although before I do that, I do have to ask, what do you know about the Heartbreak Killer? Heartbreak? You mean that psycho that was trending all month? I mean, as much as anyone, I guess. I haven't been getting out much, but I'm sure everyone's on edge, a guy like that out there. He shoots people through the heart, right? The police have kept the victim's appearances far away from any upstanding news sources. So unless he was already following the murders, Carlos wouldn't notice any resemblance to his girlfriend. I mean, she was shot in the chest, but that doesn't mean anything, does it? If he's this slow on the uptake, it's going to be a real shock when those officers walk in here and accuse him of being a serial killer. I'll just have to squash that theory. As quickly and definitively as possible. Okay. I didn't realize you could smoke in here. Technically, I can smoke wherever I want. For a fee? I guess so. Nervous? Don't be. I'm the one who's on the clock. Right, I'm sure this isn't your first time doing this. No, of course not. It will be my first homicide defense, though. Oh. Why does everyone always think the first time's so goddamn important? Hey, cheer up! I've got relevant experience in other areas. Oh. And, what areas are those? You ever gamble, Carlos? No, Mom, I never go anywhere near loot boxes. Wouldn't touch the stuff. I meant more like playing cards. Oh, well, no to that too. I've actually got pretty terrible luck. Could have fooled me. Well, what I do is a lot like poker, Carlos. Poker's nice because if you're dealt nothing but crap all night long, you can still win. Which makes things pretty fun. Okay, so, do you have a good poker face? I like to think so. And are you lucky? Only when the stakes are high. And, in this metaphor, we're playing poker. And the state's the dealer? If only. No, the state's more like the house. You mean like the house always wins? Yes. They're very good at it. Winning, I mean. That's why they're up there and we're down here. That's why they're the house. So what do we do? We play the cards we're dealt as best we can. Win more hands than we lose. Keep it up and eventually someone will come over, tap the dealer on the shoulder and whisper something in their ear, and then we'll be politely asked to leave. That doesn't sound very triumphant. The house always wins. So our definition of victory is more like, don't lose. Thanks, Morgan. But I guess I was more asking like, what should I say? Just leave all the talking to me. So that's the strategy? Pfft. What's up? You know there's a saying about gamblers with strategies? Yo, ready to confess yet? Because I already woke up the DA. Already, she must be new. The district attorneys have final say on whether or not a case is brought to trial. Only fair since they're the ones who end up having to actually prove the damn thing. Most of them prefer simple guilty pleas over long protracted trials, and they all dislike having their time wasted. Unfortunately, then you'll have to call them back, because my client is not guilty. And frankly, I'm not even sure you have enough to hold him here. Right. What she said. You got a weird sense of humour, counsellor. Different generations, I guess. For my time kind of thing. I'm very serious when it comes to defending a man's innocence, detective. Counsellor, we have your client's written confession. His written confession, let's start there. Okay, we'll be happy to. The thrust of every argument starts with the facts, what's already known and agreed upon. Public knowledge for every player at the table. It's pretty simple, counsellor. Real paint by numbers stuff. See, we found a note in his apartment with his fingerprints on it, apologising for how he hurt them all so bad. Now, how are you planning on spinning that? Those are the facts. But I've been building my hand all night, and now I've got the weapons to answer everything they try and throw at me. Well, my client did write that note, and it was an apology, but not for murder. He was apologising for... Analyse the facts as they're laid out, then thumb through the responses. Drag and drop the card that best answers the... This is really cool. You must mouse over the... You can mouse over your opponent's portrait for a reminder of what key point. Right. Murder weapon linked to 5 other crimes. Ceramic crap. He was simply apologising for this. The hell is that? I found myself asking the exact same question. What are we looking at here? Something from the crime scene? This diagram of the room is created from the data you captured, right? Pure non-GMO augmented reality crime scene data, yeah. What's non-GMO? Not much these days. Notice anything out of place? Yeah, the whole room's full of busted shit. It's the scene of a murder. Full of busted shit for sure. But I was referring to the unidentified ceramic debris found on the western side of the room. The hell is that? Ceramic debris, huh? Must be from the vase that got tossed. Actually, that's not possible. Oh, because that vase is a fake. No, wasn't it? No. It's not possible for the debris to come from the vase, because that vase is still pristine. How is that possible? The lady at the garage sale told me it was so old and delicate. Damn it, the one time I try a thrift shop on my own. Well, so what? What does that even matter? If the vase doesn't have a scratch on it, then the debris must have come from somewhere else. That debris is what my client wrote that apology over. You're saying that confession was his apology for not vacuuming? I am! Because that pile of rubble is what remains of the victim's collection of fidget tubbies. What he said. Mr. Flat... Sorry, Mr. Flat broke. Sorry. Don't know if that was intentional. Mr. Flat broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident. And this impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scripting out an apology. Can you prove that? We're taking this seriously? As much as I wish we weren't. We're all in agreement that my client wrote that note. And we could clearly see that there's ceramic debris at the crime scene. Now, since we couldn't get from the vase, it must have come from the collectibles. Simple, right? The hell are you on about? The entire room was trashed and the art clearly shows. Those fidget tubbies may have got pulverised during the struggle too. You really going to claim he sat down to write an apology for breaking toys after gunning her down? Not a bad train of thought, but I can do better. No, those collectibles were destroyed much earlier than that, and there's proof. Stiff and unwieldy, a dusty fidget tubby slayer. I guess it's got to be the rental. Because that's the only one that it could be. Let's take a closer look at the rental you took into custody. Huh? One swipe of your finger should show exactly how devastating it was to the fickle buddy ecosystem. It's fidget tubbies. What an amazing thing for her to say. Whatever. You did take it into custody. I'm sure your text found ceramic debris on it, yes? So now that you mention it... Fine, whatever. He broke them with his arm while he was killing her. Happy? Overjoyed, because even a cheap arm's got an operating system that had logged the last time it was worn, right? Right. See, I happened to spot a footnote on the lab report. It said the rental hadn't been worn since the AM. Whose side are you on, old man? It's gotten pretty late, sunshine. Just trying to save us all some time where I can. Well, thank you for your service. Well, thank you for your service? They're basically sisters at this point. Are you seriously buying this crap? Just look at how scrawled and panicked that note is. You expect me to believe he was that upset over a fidget tubby collection? One that hasn't even been graded? Oh my god. She loves fidget tubbies. And the reason her desk is blank is because she thinks she'll be looked down on for having them on her desk at work. Oh, oh, I love her. She's great. Setting aside Detective Reyes' surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles, you're correct. They held no real monetary value. It would be odd for Carlos to be so shaken over their loss. But so what? So what? After all, that's not panic you're seeing on that note. No, the reason the note looks the way it does is because Carlos is right-handed. Yes, I am. Did they not know that? Shouldn't that be on my permanent record or something? So the reason why the note looks like Asylum Wall scribbles is just because he had to use his left hand to write it. I tend to think better writing than typing. And I need to get used to using my left anyway. I just thought it could be good practice. Well, taking that into account alongside the ceramics, your slam dunk confession is just about as watertight as a fishnet. Okay, fine, forget about the confession. Congratulations, counsellor. You've established that your client's remorseless. Now let's get back to the reality of the situation. Here are the facts. We found your client at the scene of the murder, wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood, right next to the big old goddamn gun that just so happened to have his fingerprints on it. That's right, the coat is... What, you're going to claim it's not his, that he actually wears an extra small? Just trying to bait me in a typical low-key fashion. As the arguments flow, you won't always have the stronger hand. Sometimes the best you could do is hold your tongue and avoid overcommitting. Try to lose as little credit as possible where you wait for a more favourable chance. She must have something, no sense playing into it. Something you'd like to ask me, detective? I'm just a little curious. What'll it be next? You going to tell me he actually wears an extra small? What is this? Oh my god! Stay and raise! He doesn't wear an extra small. Yeah. Oh my god, it's the check. That's what you do when you're playing poker and you don't want to bet. You tap the table. Gee, Carlos, do you? No? Yeah, sure there's no evil twin you've forgotten to mention? Yeah, she's still trying to bait me. There's no evil twin. No, I'm afraid not. Not even going to go for a mysterious third party at the scene of the crime? To prove his innocence, I'll need to get there eventually. But going there now without hard evidence... I can prove a third party. I can't prove a third party. I have no evidence of a third person at this time. Damn right you don't. It's clear as day in the arcs. No evidence of anyone but Carlos being there that night, so keep dreaming. It was obvious she had something there. I wasn't going to win that hand either way. But at least I didn't overstep and take any more damage than I had to. We're not contesting any of that, detective. My client freely admits to holding that gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene. Which was not smart, hey, but not illegal either. And that's all. He had her blood all over his clothes. Yes, he did. Right. Do you have those clothes on hand, by the way? The lab finished them a while ago. What are you getting at? It'll be easier to just show you. Would you mind getting them for me? You know what? Sure, I could use the fresh air. This thing's a bullshit in here anyway. And here I thought the room smelled like... Psst, Morgan. What are you doing? My coat's covered in her blood, I remember that much. So doesn't that like make me look really bad? Just relax, Carlos. I'm pretty sure that's impossible. You're innocent. And that means having more evidence will always help you, not hurt you. Really? Really? Not really. Plenty of innocent people in prison. People with bad luck. Or bad lawyers. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easy. More often than not, it takes coaxing. What was it that reminded me of? Alright, here it is. One bloodstained jacket fresh from the lab. So what's your angle? You going to tell us this is actually hot sauce? No. That would be silly. She actually thought it over. So what the hell's your point? Hey. Sorry, just got thrown off by a turn of good fortune. What good fortune? You should thank the detective for bringing you your jacket, Carlos. She's just proven your innocence. My client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. It has the victim's blood on it, who we know died when she was shot in the heart. But a gun that happens to be an old-world pre-tagging firearm would have gunshot residue. And so this coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter. Is there a gas leak in here? In what world does it make any sense? Sense happens to be the key here. I just need to draw their attention to what they can smell. Yes. They would be able to smell. Really? Smell? You can't see the gunshot residue. I don't think you'd be able to feel it, but you should, I think, smell it. You'd be able to smell if he'd been holding a gun in his left hand. Just do me a favour, detective. Tell me what you smell. I don't smell anything except dry blood. Exactly. The coat smells like blood, but it doesn't smell of cigarettes. That's what I've been smelling. Oh. Did I miss something? Yes, Detective London. I was smoky earlier. Could you rejoin the conversation? I've been listening. You want me to smell the jacket? If you would. Let's see. Sorry, that really threw me off. Huh? No gunpowder. Yeah, okay, I was right. Sorry, that really made me go like, crap, have I messed it up by having them bring a coat into the room where I've been smoking? No gunpowder. What? What about gunpowder? Oh, don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time. You can't be more than a few years older than me. But not before your partners, it seems. See, gunpowder's weak by today's standards, but it's still volatile stuff, hard to store, prone to misfiring, and when it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence. The hell is she talking about, London? Modern firearms like the one we carry use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure or sound waves. They've got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise, and they don't leave behind any residue. Gunpowder residue. You talked my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces, but a revolver like this one, it'll leave gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days. Unless they wash their hands, right? Literally just washing your hands, I think, is enough. So then his coat, if you don't trust your noses, you can check the lab reports. I think if they'd found any gunpowder on my client or his clothes, they would have taken the time to highlight it. Whatever. That just means he washed it after shooting her, or he changed his clothes. That's not impossible. But it would be pretty pointless. Huh? His jacket and his left hand were blood-soaked when your officers found him. Would he really go through the effort to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue? Just to get the victim's blood all over himself? In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you reconsider your charges that Mr. Flat is facing. As soon as possible. Whoa. They're faltering now, should topple over at any moment. The letter was mostly icing on the cake for them, but that gun is all there to link Carlos to any of the shootings. So if it looks like he never actually fired the gun, I'll admit things are a little dicey there at times, but once I was able to grasp the situation, the smaller pieces fell into place easily enough. Not my cleanest work by far, but overall I'd say... Did she get a message? No, I love the eye. Wait, did they actually manage to find it? Something you'd like to share, Detective Reyes? You're good. Twisting the truth into knots, making the facts work for you. Thanks, but your luck just ran out. Because the net scrubbers found a cam active at the exact moment of the shooting, and right now, I'm staring at a photo of the killer. Wanna bet?